Welcome to the Emerging CyberSec Professional Series at the Coffee Conversation Show powered by the Emerging India Forum TEIF and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Theme is Data, Decisions and Discipline, Prabhjot Kaur on owning the governance game. In a world obsessed with real-time decisions and digital acceleration, data governance is no longer a backstage function, is a main stage. And leading this quiet revolution is Prabhjot Kaur, Associate Director of Data Governance at CGS International Securities Group, whose career has been a blueprint for structured transformation in chaotic information environments. With roots in engineering and an executive MBA from SP Jain, Prabhjot brings a rare blend of analytical depth and executive presence to the table. From JLL to CGS, she has architect systems that not only clean and catalog data but give it a voice. Certified in OSCRE and ISO 8000, she is a fierce advocate of quality, collaboration, and the strategic value of metadata. In this episode, we talked to her about data culture, building frameworks from scratch, the global lens of cybersecurity, enterprises, and how leadership looks different when you work with things that don't talk but say everything. And let's understand Prabhjot as a person also. So, welcome Prabhjot to this Coffee Conversation episode.
Thank you. Thank you, Amar, for this opportunity. I'm looking forward to have a conversation with you.
Wow. Okay. So let me explain you the flow. There will be three rounds. First round will be professional, personal, and a surprise rapid fire round where you'll be in the hot seat and you'll get this book autographed by me. Is your organization cyber healthy?
Wow.
So, friend of mine, Amir Virani, hosted Coffee Corner Legal Tech Evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, author of 15 books. We help law firms, corporate legal startup, SMEs, world-class technology, software licensing, and tech training solutions. So, my first question, Prabhjot, how has the journey shaped up, and what were the key defining moments you had?
Okay. So my data governance journey has been built actually on a mix of, intentional choices and some unexpected opportunities. I entered into this world through data quality. I entered as data quality engineer, which gave me a front row seat to see the downstream impact of poor data. And actually that experience, I believe, has shaped my data governance belief that data governance is not just a function, it's a value enabler, you know. And the key defining moments in data governance in general, when we talk about, it's about, turning those fragmented processes into structure, you can say cross-functional governance models. And the cultural shift that it brings, I guess that gives immense happiness when you see that happening. In data governance, we talk about small wins because data governance is a very slow journey. Okay, so we celebrate every small win along the way. So yeah, I guess all these small wins are the key special moments for me.
Wow. So, probably let's dive deep in conversation. You have worked across massive data environments at JLL, CGS, and more. What's the first thing you look for when entering a new data ecosystem?
Okay. So whenever I enter a new data ecosystem, or let's say I start realizing that okay, there is a need of data governance framework set up into a certain organization. The first thing I will look, what's the data mindset of the organization right now? Is data is seen as strategic asset, or it's a compliance obligation? Are ownership and accountability defined or not? Are teams working in silos? Is there any data governance setup done? Maybe formally or casually. Sometimes there are some data governance framework in place without knowing that this is a data governance framework or part of data governance framework. So what are the pain points of the organization right now? Where should we start? So yeah, these are the first questions that I look for, the answers I look for whenever I enter a new data ecosystem.
Wow, beautiful. So, Prabhjot, you have been both a builder and an enabler. How do you balance control with collaboration when setting up governance structures?
Okay, I guess it's a very good question because governance without structure is actually it's a chaos, right? And without collaboration, it's a resistance. It's as simple as that. So we have to ensure that, in data governance, that data governance is not working in silos from the business teams. So what we try to do, we try to involve the residents' knowledge. We try to involve people from the organization as much as possible so that we have the sense of co-creating the framework together. Now, co-creating or you can say co-implementing the framework, the operational model together so that they understand that it's not something data governance is imposing on them, but it is something they need to do, with the help of data governance for their business. To give you one example on this, we see what's the pain point of the business right now, okay? And I try to build data governance around that first, rather than, say rather than creating a standard for certain item. If the business is struggling with data quality, it does make sense for me to actually focus on data quality so that I know that there is team who is already going through the pain and they will be ready to help me, with all their efforts if I bring up something that can solve the problem. So that's the approach I usually take.
Beautiful. Okay. So, Prabhjot, do you think most companies treat their data as a strategic asset or a technical afterthought? How does mindset change things?
Okay, I guess it's a mix. There are some organizations who already have taken step towards taking data as a strategic asset, and when leadership understand the importance of it, I guess data governance becomes enabler by default. But there are few organizations who are on the way to understand the importance of data because of the immense potential in data, right? Because right now they say that data is the new oil. So every organization is slowly getting that awareness around data, what data is doing, and especially with AI, right? Everyone has started to understand the importance and the power of data. So data governance is definitely needed wherever the data is.
Wow. Thank you for leading me to my next question. How has the rise of AI machine learning transformed the role of data governance professional like yourself?
Okay. So with AI, I believe data governance is needed more than ever, because we are not talking about structured data, the data in tables, columns, that's easy to manage, that the case earlier it was. Now we are talking about unstructured data. There's like abundant data. How do we trust the ethnicity of this data, authenticity of this data, whether this data is ethical or not, whether this data is you can say trusted, can be trusted or not, what are the sources of this information. So now the responsibility of data governance is even bigger. We have to think of not just the structured data, but how to govern non-structured data, in fact how to govern the decision systems, right? And the access controls, who is going to access what information in what form. It's very important that AI should be governed, and I guess AI governance is already coming up. It's a I guess it's the next step in data governance. So yeah, we are on the right track.
Wow. Beautiful. So, Prabhjot, according to you, what role does cybersecurity play in the foundation of good data governance, especially in financial institutions?
I see. So cybersecurity and data governance actually goes hand in hand. I work very closely with cybersecurity because as data governance professional, I can define data classification. I can say that, okay, this data is personal, this data is confidential. But how do we ensure that this data controls or tags are actually embedded in the secure environments? That's where cybersecurity comes into picture. That's where information security, we call them actually in our organization. So I work very closely with them. In fact, one cannot succeed without the other. So, while data governance defines it, information security actually ensures that the environment has the right setup to embed this information into it.
Wow. Okay. So, Prabhujot, according to you, how important is the cleaning of metadata in MS Office documents and PDF documents, especially a user in organization which we have seen? I have done a knowledge session for cybersecurity professionals. So they look at metadata in a bigger picture, but they ignore the hidden data in the MS Office documents and PDF documents. And how do you make them aware? Okay, but this is more critical.
Okay, see, in data governance context, when we talk about metadata, it's actually about data, right? It's about having is to gather the information that what data lies where and who is accountable for this data, who is responsible for this data, and who will be the right people to archive or delete this data when the right time comes. There are data archival policies based on what we define certain we tag certain data that they should be archived in 5 years, 7 years, or we have to keep certain data. So when we talk about this metadata management, it can be very tricky. But at the same time, although it looks like, okay, we are just making a catalog, it's very important to have this catalog, because as long as we have this information in front of us, that what data is lying where and who is responsible for it and what are the timelines attached to this data, no matter what policy you have to assign to this data, it becomes much easier to assign this any policy to this information. That's why we encourage all data, DG professionals encourage that we should have this metadata management. We should have this data catalog in place. That's the primary reason, so that we can actually see not just the policies, but also the tagging with this data, also the lineage that's linked with this data. So metadata, it has a bigger role to play when it comes to governance framework.
Thank you. So, probably the certification OSCRE, what's the full form for viewers out there? Then ISO 8000, what is it about? Reflect a commitment to quality. How do these shape your daily leadership decisions?
Okay, this OSCRE was actually for its property management. It was pretty much related to that, how to manage, how to govern property data. And while this ISO, this is more about data quality and the data transfer. When we transfer data between different systems, how the format should look like. And the certifications, although I advocate certifications for sure, although we did not get much chance, I did not get much chance to have, to expand my certification pool to wider extent. But I still believe the certifications and the learnings, they actually give your approach a little structure, you know. So, because after learning this OSCRE and this data quality certification, in fact, when I go through this DAMA DMBOK book, which is widely known data governance framework, I get to know that when we solve a problem for data governance, we don't think from day to day activity wise. We don't, we go as in the approach that we take has to be to think that how to scale the solution. Okay, we don't solve the problem for 1 day or 2 day or for maybe a year. So I guess my lens has completely changed, because there's a lot of information. So whether it's from definition, design, quality, and the protection of data, you think from a very different angle. You think of as a data governance life cycle rather than just looking at one problem. So I guess that's the beauty of these certification, and not just these are just two names. There are so many learnings other than these certifications available. There's a lot many courses on LinkedIn Learning. In fact, on YouTube, there are many data governance professionals who are making this video. So as and when I get chance, I just try to look for a topic and try to just enhance my knowledge on that particular topic, because it has helped me immensely in shaping up my data governance frameworks along the way.
Wow. So, Prabhjot, how do you define data governance to someone who assumes it's all documentation and no innovation?
Oh, Okay, so data governance, definitely it's a documentation, but with purpose. There's a lot of documentation. Uh, but it's not just only documentation, it also brings clarity, right? It also brings the process, because when we create a process, there are certain steps in a process, and each step has some to dos, some action list. And the documentation that we are talking about is embedded in this to do list. Okay, you have to do what, and in order to accomplish that, this is the toolkit, and this is the document that you need to to use, or to uh, you will need that along the way. So the documentation is just the surface, but it's much more than that. Again, the accountability it brings, the trust it brings in the data handling system. So, and if data governance done right, it enables innovation too, because the data is readily available. Your leadership is trusting this data. You can take decisions on this data, without wasting any time. It's like your time to market increases when you are in that type of business. So definitely it can bring innovation, but it takes time.
Wow. So, from team management to stakeholder evangelism, how do you create a culture of ownership around data quality?
Okay, that's a good one. Because, and a part of it is actually, I already explained this one. We try to involve them, from starting talking about the pain points that they have, right? So we try to see that what will drive them. How do we attach a certain data governance, you can say, initiatives with the KPIs and the pain points of data quality, you can say, team that we are going to build. To give you one example, let's say a business is trying to create a report, but whenever they try to find the data behind it, they are going through issues like data is missing, data is not accurate, or XYZ, due to which the report is getting delayed for many months. Now data governance come into picture. Now data governance says that, okay, we will provide you this data, you just tell us what are you trying to achieve. So on this particular report, we try to find the critical data elements. We govern these data elements to ensure that whatever data they are looking for is properly, you can say, populated with the help of operations, with the help of remediation teams. So the turnaround is very quick. So when business teams see that, okay, data governance is helping them in a certain way, they are able to get data on time, they will be able to proceed faster on the task they have in hand, they automatically come. And again, this comes with a trust, the mutual trust that you build. Whatever data governance is saying, business believes in that. And again, we have to deliver on the trust as well.
Wow. So, having worked in Singapore, how do you view the regulatory and data governance maturity in APAC compared to other regions?
Okay, so in APAC, I guess Singapore definitely leads the way. It's forward-looking MAS guidelines. So, but it varies along for different countries. It varies. It varies. I will not say that it's as advanced as Singapore, or it's any lesser. But every country has their own local data protection laws that help us govern the data. In the way a certain region want us to. And in terms of data governance, but this is more of the regulatory compliance, that comes from the regulations. That now the data governance maturity is very much local to the organization. It comes with the data mindset, it comes with the data culture within the organization. It it has nothing much to do with the regulatory compliance, but more of the internal leadership, how they view the data, whether the data is seen as strategic asset or not, how the data governance is managed within the organization, and so on. And it again, it varies from organization to organization, irrespective of the geography. It varies from organization to organization.
Wow. So, Prabhjot, if you had to build a data governance playbook for startups or other organizations, what are the top three non negotiables you did put on page one?
Okay. I believe that the foundation of data governance lies in data ownership, identifying data owners and data stewards, which is to use the residents' knowledge from the people who are with the organization from long time to use their knowledge to build the data governance framework, to involve them into the process. I guess that's very important. That's definitely non-negotiable when it comes to data governance. The second I would do it to classify the data. It doesn't matter whether you have a tool to do that or not. You can still go ahead, identify the critical data assets and then tag the data, whether it's public, confidential, private, so that at least you have a overall view that what kind of information is there. And even if you don't have data governance tool at this moment, I guess it's okay to go and put this information in the Excel sheets, because if this information is going to be embedded in the environments, information security or cybersecurity can still go ahead and create controls taking this Excel sheet from you. At least they would know that what needs to be done, right? So I guess again, non-negotiable, and it has direct impact from regulations, right? So very critical. The third thing that I would say is to embed data governance into your products and into your tech decisions early on. Involve data governance, whether it's access controls, whether it's having standards, defining standards, having metadata in place, so I believe these three things for startups definitely must do.
Wow. So my last question for your profile journey round: what advice would you give to young professionals entering data governance?
Okay, so the first advice I would like to give is be curious, not compliant, because data governance is such a stream. Now, so still ask questions: why, how, try to understand the bigger picture. Okay, that's true for any role, not just data governance. But I really want newbies to be little more curious about what they are doing. The second would be find mentors, maybe. It's good to have mentors in the field you are trying to build your career on. I have personally seen the benefit of having mentors in my life. They have guided me, that ultimately helped me grow in the career. So definitely must have. I have to say three, right? So
No,
there's
no. Then three,
two is
four,
also
five,
okay.
whatever.
Okay. Okay then.
Okay. Yeah. So my I am excited to ask you one more. Okay, what advice would you give to young women out there
Hmm.
to be in a leadership position for especially this sensitive data governance or other fields where there is you have to be alert and work with a team?
Okay, I believe passion is something that drives it. If you are passionate about something, you will find a way to do it. That's my mantra. I strongly believe in that. If you are passionate enough to navigate through, these regulations, the data governance complexities, you will find one way or another through mentorship, through online learnings, through certifications, you will pave a way. So if you are passionate enough, just follow your passion.
Beautiful. So let's go to next round and understand Prabhjot as a person. Tell us about your family and your formative years.
Okay, so my family, I come from a very close-knit family, and my parents always encouraged learning. They have taught me that hard work and integrity are actually um, are non-negotiable, not just in big achievements, but how we show up every day. So I guess I'm a hard worker. I will not say I'm not a smart worker, because these days there's a conversation, right? Be a smart worker, not a hard worker. So I am both. Sometimes whenever when you don't know what to do, you have to put in hard work as well, before you find a smarter way to do it. So I'm a hard worker in that sense. I live in Singapore with my husband, with my son. And my son has brought an entire new dimension to my life. He is a toddler, and he is teaching me patience every day. So he has taught me the value of being present, and these are the values, these are the lessons that I'm bringing to my professional work every day now, and I see the difference, you know. So
Wow,
then,
beautiful. So outside of frameworks and policies, what's a hobby or interest which helps you to unplug and reconnect with yourself?
okay, I like music as well. I love listening to music. I love cooking, but again, these days my priorities are a little bit changed. So I my best way to unplug myself is to just spend time with my son, to just be silly with him, just play with him, run around, shout around. We just, yeah,
Wow, beautiful.
we just do the
Okay,
toddler things these days.
beautiful. So, Prabhjot, what motivated to do MBA from SP Jain School of Global Management?
Okay. I always wanted to do my MBA when I started my career, but then again, once I started my career, I just never got, you can say, I never got time to reflect and then to find time that, okay, when to do it and from where to do it. So when I moved to Singapore, I was still searching for my job. So at that time, I thought that, okay, maybe let's enroll for MBA while searching for a job. So, and my husband was already doing MBA. So he just, it was the motivation behind it too. So he inspired me, said, okay, let's do it together. So yep, that's how I, ended up
Wow.
entering into SPJ. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, so, what were your अपना ये MBA focusing on?
I focused on, for myself it was general, because you have to take three particular subjects to do it specialization. Like, you have to, if you are taking three finance subjects, then you will be finance specialization. But I took two finance, two operations, like that, two marketing. So I just balanced it out. So for me it was a general MBA. So I did not put any specialization tag to it.
Wow. So, Prabhjot, what's one tradition from home that you carry with you, no matter where you are in the world?
Okay, I guess that has to be the ardas. We call it ardas, the prayer that we
Yes.
do. So every morning when I wake up, I close my eyes for 5 minutes. That's my moment of reflection, gratitude. And that's something, it's there since my childhood, and it's everywhere. No matter where I am, it goes with me.
Wow. Okay. So, Prabhjot, let's make you a tour guide. If someone wants to visit Singapore, what are the places and food to have in Singapore?
Okay. There's a lot. So you should, let's talk about food more. So, you
Okay.
know, let's talk about food first. Okay. So there are hawker centers here, so the food is great. So hawker centers are must try. And then there are many Michelin star restaurants, that we like. The Indian food here is also great. We we definitely, whenever we miss Indian food, we go to Little India. There are so many restaurants that are serving, amazingly delicious Indian food. So it's like, it's like a heaven for us. And other than that, when you say that the touristy places, MBS is great, right? The MBS whole area. And then there are so many museums for kids. The Art Science Museum is there, and then in between there will be some short exhibitions. Like recently we went to a balloon museum with my child, and it was surreal experience. The concept is very simple, just pop air, but they have created so beautifully, you can say, the art from those balloons. It was
Mhm.
amazing to see such experiences in Singapore. So yeah,
Wow.
if you are definitely planning to come, I can send the itinerary even better, but because it's a long list, it
I
cannot
can
it
understand.
cannot be summed up
But
in.
Wow. So this is the second museum I've heard from my coffee speaker.
Mm,
One is this balloon. Second one is about what do you say? Choices in Ahmedabad.
mm.
One of my coffee speaker, Aishwarya Reddy, she spoke about a different type of museum in Ahmedabad city.
Yeah, wow.
That's interesting to know because I like to discover city through walks. So on 15 August, I went to Thane for a walk tour, discovering the historical places in Apna Thane.
Oh,
So like
wonderful.
that. Uh, so whenever I get an opportunity to a walk is happening, so I like register and discover because the tour guide makes you what do you say the history, the interesting snippets of that place and everything. So you'll be my tour guide when I'm in Singapore.
Definitely, definitely. You're most welcome.
Thank you. Okay. So if your friends had to describe you in three words, what would it be?
In 3 words. Okay, so, hmm, I am passionate, you know, I value respect. I respect people, and I, expect respect as well in return. And I guess I value learning. I believe that learning should always be there. Just keep learning in whatever form, in small videos, in terms of certifications, master degrees. Just learning should never stop. So, these are not the 3 words about me, but these are the three, you can say, my life mantras that I believe in. That we should respect people. I value kindness and respect. I value learning, and I definitely very passionate person. I try to give my 100% whatever I do. So
Wow. So, what are your plans for 2025 in the remaining months for personally and professionally?
okay, professionally, oh, my roadmap is full. So I really am very busy professionally. So uh, we have a lot to accomplish this year because data governance journey is very new in CGSI, and we are uh, doing the foundational work. So 2025 is going to be a very important year for us. Personally, we have some travel plans. We love to travel. My husband, myself, and now my son. We are just we are always ready to pack our bags and go. You just tell us that this travel is coming up, and we happily lock our house and we just leave the house. So, yep, travel. There are a few travel plans on the way. And then we are also planning to have a trip back home around Diwali. That's another tradition that we follow, that we try to celebrate Diwali with our family back in India. So, yeah.
Wow. So, my last one is a googly one. Describe Prabhjot in one line.
Okay, one line. Actually, I already described, isn't it? When you said 3 words,
That is
I.
from your friend's point of view,
Yeah.
your point of view.
Yeah. Okay. Describe Prabhjot in one line. Okay, so that one line has to be, um, Prabhjot is someone who is driven by passion, you know, who loves to travel, and who loves making new friends.
Beautiful. So, let's go to the next round and put you in the hot seat, the rapid fire round. Your go to comfort food.
Oh, Rajma Chawal.
Wow. Data you swear by, structured or unstructured?
Oh, structure is easy,
Uh-huh.
always.
Singapore at night or India in the morning?
India in the morning.
Wow. Spreadsheets or mind maps?
Mind maps.
Describe data governance in one line.
It's a trust in data.
Wow. Your leadership style in one word.
Mm. Value enabler.
Wow. Your favorite color.
Blue.
Best piece of advice received.
This is just a moment, not the whole story.
Beautiful. Okay. Your favorite Punjabi cuisine?
Oh, Rajma Chawal.
You don't have something. Okay. Uh, your favorite restaurant in Singapore?
MTR.
Tea or coffee to recharge?
Tea. Yeah, just that.
Wow. So, Prabhjot, today's conversation has been nothing short of inspiring. Your journey reminds us that data governance isn't just about frameworks and compliance, it's about giving data a voice, creating cultures of ownership, and shaping decisions that define the future. From building governance playbooks to highlighting the strategic role of cybersecurity and AI, you have shown how discipline, structure, and vision can transform even the most complex ecosystems into trusted, resilient systems. So, it's a reminder that leadership in this space is as much about people and culture as it is about process and technology. To our viewers out there, stay tuned for more such thoughtful, provoking episodes and conversations featuring leaders and changemakers from around the world. Don't forget to subscribe to the Coffee Con Show on YouTube, where there are 500 speakers sharing their professional personal journey insights. So we look forward to seeing the chapters to continue to write the governance and cybersecurity. And we meet another coffee speaker, continue the conversation over a cup of coffee. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. It was lovely talking to you, Amar. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.